And this is the 2,400 square foot home of Jay Black. He owned it in 1982. This home has since been remodeled when he has lived there. What up, beautiful people? I am Thomas. I hope all is well. Today, we are in the neighborhood of Howard Beach, New York. I've said this numerous times when I've done these type of videos about stars and famous places, so on and so forth. I always said, do people know the history of the place, said place that they have lived in? Well, today we're going to be traveling, showing you a place of how it looks like today, of where Jay Black lived. You know Jay Black. Jay Black and the Americans. That's right, that Jay Black. Aramiyama. This magic moment. We know this magic moment from the Wonder Years. This magic moment. Historic. One of the greatest bands of all time. His real name was Herman Blatt. Herman Blatt was his father, actually, and he was a Polish immigrant, married Frances Smith in Corona, 1938. David was the first child, born November 2nd. Three more followed. The family then moved to Brooklyn, where David graduated New Urtec High School in 1956. Now, he started, during that time, he was kind of in a Jewish, like I want to say, like a Jewish kind of a band or a singing group, and that's when he was, he was friends with, one of the people that were already in Jay and the Americans, and he said, "Listen, that the original singer has decided to quit." And that original singer was Jay Trainer. So he said he wanted to take Jay's spot. And, David Blatt said yes. So, they go on an interview with a personality there. They're on TV. And they go, well, what is your name? What do you call yourself? And Jay was going to mumble Blatt, but the interviewer thought he heard Black, and that's kind of how it stuck. Jay Black. And the rest was history. So David Blatt replaced, again in summary, Jay Trainer, and he changed his name to Jay Black by mistake, kind of in a way. Jay and the Americans were on their way to success with songs like This Magic Moment, Karami Ama. He was known as The Voice. As we just are approaching the house here that he had in Howard Beach, this home has changed. You see in the thumbnail how he used to look like before. It was built in 1970. It's remodeled on the fronts and on the side. 2,400 square foot home. Right now, it's probably worth, I'd probably say, I looked it up, close to $900,000. So these homes go for a pretty penny. In 2006, gambling debts, forced him into bankruptcy. The trade name, Jay and the Americans, was sold by a bankruptcy trustee for $100,000. But, David Blatt, or Jay Black, continued to perform as Jay Black. By 2017, he could no longer take the stage due to, Alzheimer's disease. Passed away in 2021 at the age of 82. But he would continue, when the group split in the early 70s. He would still continue eventually just to perform, did Jay, in Atlantic City, Florida. He performed in the Westbury Music Theater here, locally in New York, Long Island, very oftenly. This band was huge, huge. You've heard their songs, Magic Moment, Carry Me Ma. It was a group that performed. Even at one point opened up for the Beatles back then. So, you have a lot of pull and a lot of popularity when you're on the same billing card as the Beatles. They were inducted into the Vocal Group Hall of Fame in 2022. They had many, former members. They had at one point, they were all replaced. You had Kenny Vance, Jay Traynor, Jay Black, Brian Cano right now. And the group still tours, I believe. Rick Van Horn and Jay Rensky, I believe, if I'm not pronouncing that name incorrectly. Marty Sanders still plays. So you might catch Jay and the Americans, a different version of them. But a group, I gotta say, definitely, made a stamp on music history. Also forgot too, let's not forget this song. Come a little bit closer, na na, da da da, da 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 da, da da, which was actually before Garamia. I apologize to Jay and the Americans for butchering their hit song. But listen, music was definitely a lot different back then as it is now. Some might say it was better probably before than it is now. And this location here, for Jay Black would have been near a lot of venues that were where he would probably maybe frequent even after the group split in '73. You're close to Madison Square Garden, Nassau Coliseum out in Long Island. You're also nearby, Atlantic City. And, you also have access to the major, airports, LaGuardia, John F. Kennedy, to wherever Jay might have needed to fly to. Everything was nearby here. It's all about locality, and Harrow Beach is right there on the border of Brooklyn. So, a very nice house these homes are. I've seen a couple, have been inside them as, I was looking to buy property here. Very nice homes, but modest compared to considering, individual of notoriety such as Jay. But sometimes it's, about convenience and, and just loving where you're living. And, man, definitely a superstar. I would hymn another song for you and come a little bit closer now. Well, I already did that. Should just rest in peace to a legend, Jay Black. Hope all is well.